Oh, God, this thing always... Hello!
Clippity clappity clap.
Here we are again. There's more tea.
Hi! We never seem to run out of tea, Adam.
Oh, I have a supplier. Which is helpful.
I really haven't needed this cup of tea today.
Yeah?
So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'll always have tea for you.
So we had a conversation a little while ago because we played, we started playing some stuff from the 80s.
Oh, I know. I love it so much.
And
I love it so much.
I mean, we were talking about it and people agreed that the 80s were definitely a great era.
I think so. I mean, for me it is because that's, when I grew up. So that's kind of
right?
the thing.
But I'm going to say that I think 83, 84 was probably the pinnacle of that.
I hate to argue with you there.
What have you got?
I don't know that I can. I mean, I agree. I think that leaning into... 83 to 85 were seminal years for me. I think local people here in Minnesota would argue that 87 was the pinnacle year because that's the year that the local baseball team, the Twins, won the World Series.
Okay.
For like the only time ever or whatever.
But for music,
I mean,
music 84 would be Prince, right?
Yeah, Prince is Purple Rain, all that stuff is 83, 84, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just prior to me coming to Minnesota. A little bit more than... a little bit, but and as such I never really was a Prince person.
Yeah, there you are.
That's terrible, but I mean, you think my memories are cemented. So in 1983, not to out myself, but I was roughly 10 years old, and so that was my first experiences in really understanding the world around me, I guess. And I saw great movies like The Goonies and
oh yes,
they were like kid. I don't know, not necessarily kid friendly entertainment, but it was appealing to kids. And the music was just absolutely fantastic. We've mentioned several times I had MTV, and that was a real.
Yeah.
Wasn't a babysitter for me, but I tell you, I spent a lot of time in front of the TV.
I had to wait each week for Top of the Pops to come on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
That's when I got my music fix.
You had Top of the Pops. We had Friday night videos for people who didn't have MTV. There was like a TV show that you could get on just broadcast TV,
that I like. And I've been revisiting because we have mobile phones, we have cell phones, and we talk things like, weren't the 80s great? Then all of a sudden my YouTube feed starts to fill up with the 80s programs. But Pop Quiz was a BBC program. It started in the early 80s, and it started to pop up. So I watched it.
Okay.
But it's great for me because I know the answer to that. I know the answer to that.
Right up my alley.
And it's been working for me. It really has. 1983 was... the year I was walking back from my friend Simon's house.
Okay. And
Ian Cairns was on top of one of the garages blasting some music.
Okay.
And my brain just opened up. He was playing Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Which is not a 1983
That's not really a
tune,
80s song
but that's when my brain just opened up and suddenly I started to see real life in music everywhere.
Yeah.
So
that's so awesome. I think we were very lucky to grow up in that era. And I know you can say what you want socioeconomically and everything else, but I mean, there was a lot of good entertainment in the 80s, and we don't have that today.
I think a lot of diverse entertainment, music-wise as well.
Yeah, I mean, we talk all the time about how your experience musically was different from mine, just what exposure was. The last video we did on Madness, we talked about how Madness was hit after hit after hit,
and
over there.
It was just
here it was
one song.
There they were, and then they were gone.
See you guys.
On to Billy Ocean or whatever was next.
Thankfully, we didn't get a lot of Billy Ocean.
See, we did. We had a number of Billy Ocean songs.
We had some. So, Huey Lewis in the news.
That's the order of the day. Huey Lewis in the news.
Sports,
fantastic album.
Sports was that. Now talk about hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And part of the point of that, actually, and this is a thing creatively as a songwriter, I struggle with. But essentially, they basically just said, as a band, hits will get us on the radio, and we don't know which one they're going to like. Let's just make them all hits.
So they all have to be hits.
They basically said, if this has to sound good on the radio.
Right.
And of course, you always think to yourself, well, we need a slow number. And we need a slightly country tinged number. And we need the slightly rockier number. And so you're trying to accommodate those things. And they went, no, these just need to be pop, radio, rock and roll hits.
They all were, you know. That's, to me, Huey Lewis always kind of, and I think I understood this more as I got a little bit older and started, you know, going out to bars or whatever. But Huey Lewis is just basically a local bar band who happened to be at the top of the charts, you know? I mean, here's a guy who looks like the dude that works on your mom's car or whatever, but he's the front man of this band. I think on Thursdays he played softball down at the local park, you know.
And why not? That's
whatever.
what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They were just like a bar band, you know. They kind of tapped into a nerve, mainline nerve at some point in the American, you know, experience or whatever. But it was fun to see something that wasn't over the top and just, you know, this was not Boy George or the Eurythmics. We're just kind of
I get it.
You know, wearing jeans on stage,
looking T-shirts,
T-shirts, and the goofy the red braces over a white T-shirt. That's our stage get up. We rolled in here from Hackensack and we just got on the stage.
Yeah, my next show, that's definitely what I'm going to do.
I think you should.
I'm going to just get red braces.
Get the little coif, the thing where you just kind of comb your wet hair straight back as you blow dry it, and then it just goes, get that little butt thing, and that's all you need. That's all he needed, Huey Lewis. I think they're from San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, that I don't know.
I've done no research on this.
I don't know enough about them to specifically say one way or the other, but...
yeah. I mean, they were kind of the darlings for really a long part of the decade. They were certainly helped by their movie placements.
Yes,
Back
of course.
to the Future, of course, was probably the biggest movie in the entire decade. One of
exactly.
3 or 4 maybe. But Huey Lewis was all over that. Yeah. And that didn't hurt him.
It did not hurt at all.
I don't know what the news are up to. But
they had... this was good. And Huey... I mean, they went to England. They went to the UK to I think at the behest of either their manager or one of the record company execs. And I mean, he ended up getting connected to Elvis Costello and Thin Lizzy.
Oh, nice.
Even
Thin Lizzy hanging out with Huey Lewis.
He
boy, to be a fly on the wall in that room.
Played on something.
No kidding.
Yeah, he played on something. There was a song that Bad something or other that Phil Lynott basically played like a sped up version of. Okay. That was one of Huey's songs. Yeah, so he was hanging out with I mean, rock royalty then.
Yeah. I know he did a guest spot on a Bruce Hornsby single.
That's also true, yeah.
You know, he was all over for whatever reason. This sounds bad because I'm not trying to diss Huey Lewis and his talent, but he just didn't seem to fit in with the rest of them.
He was networking then and basically just making friends because I'm guessing he's a reasonably nice guy.
Maybe he's a really cool guy. I know he's
fairly good on harmonica.
He's a really good harmonica player.
And I've
a philanthropist and a hell of a bowler.
I'm a softball player. I've never seen him play harmonica, yet that's his instrument.
I mean, he was on, from my understanding, did you have the Bruce Hornsby in the Range album?
Yes.
The good one?
Yeah.
Bruce Hornsby was on that Down the Road Tonight, or Huey Lewis did Down the Road Tonight song, singing harmonies and playing the harmonica on the main motif of the song.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess he played. I always saw him with the mic stand.
No, I did scan the internet just for some interesting facts that I mightn't have known about him. One of the fun things is when he was younger, the reason he learnt harmonica is because he decided to hitchhike around the U.S.
So he wanted to get free rides and annoy people at the same time.
He basically wanted something to do.
One approach.
So he taught himself harmonica while on the road.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can't hitchhike around America now.
No. Used to see that when I was a kid. You used to see that. But
yeah,
it's been a long time.
So I mean, he had quite a lot of life experience.
Sure. The one factoid I know about him is that apparently he is a very, very good golfer. He's into golf. he golfs with famous people.
You lost me.
Like Alice Cooper is a really good golfer too.
Now
supposedly.
that I do know, actually.
Huey Lewis is another one of those.
Yeah, there you
and he
are.
kind of looks like it because he looks like, you know, a water softener salt salesman.
I'm not sure
to be good at
how
golf.
Alice Cooper looks on the golfing range.
Wizened and shriveled would be my guess.
Like
I'm panning everyone today.
We reserve the right to roast whoever we want.
If Huey Lewis wants to watch this and come on the show to offer a rebuttal.
We know. I mean, it needs harmonica.
For the record, I love Huey Lewis's music, and he seems like a cool guy from what I've read. Case in point, segue. The song that we're going to do today, "Walking on a Thin Line," is rather a heavy song.
It is.
This is not
for sure.
This is not just a power of love kind of thing. This talks about the experience of returning Vietnam War veterans in America. It talks about homelessness. It talks about mental health issues.
It applies to all of that still, really.
It does. It does. It's a sad truth. But Huey Lewis, I think, was of the age that Vietnam was. He might have been maybe a little young for the Vietnam draft, but not by much, I don't think.
Was he born in 50?
If he was, then he'd have been 18 in 1968.
Yeah.
That's not a good year to be 18, 19 years old in America, for sure. Okay, then. I mean, that's probably why. Again, having done no research on this, but I'm sure I don't think he served in the military himself.
I haven't read one way or the other.
I'll read about it after this, but I'm sure many of his contemporaries, his classmates, his friends, maybe his brothers or whatever did. So, I don't know. He wrote the song "Walking on a Thin Line" about coming home from Vietnam,
and it's as punchy as any Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, it's upbeat. It's kind of it's brooding in a way, but it's like there's a great melody. It's driving. It's almost an earworm. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's a little bit deeper than a lot of the hits of the day. I guess we gravitate towards those. We started our 80s binge with Pink Houses that wasn't exactly an easy listener either.
John Mellencamp. I mean, this song lives up there with the kinds of things that John Mellencamp was even writing.
Yeah, it's a serious business.
So, yeah.
It's edutainment, what we do here.
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
And
that's
caffeination.
A word. We'll have to figure out how to spell it.
Caffutainment.
And our tech guy will be able to put it right at the bottom.
Right. But
load up on your tea, fellas, and we'll play you a song.
Walking on a Thin Line, Huey Lewis in the News. And it's got a really cool... The only synthesizer-y part of this whole song is the sort of bass thing in the intro. Sometimes in my bed at night, I curse the dark and I pray for the lights. And sometimes the lights know consolation. Blinded by a memory, afraid of what it might do to me. And the tears and the sweat only mock my desperation. Don't you know me? I'm the boy next door, the one you find so easy to ignore. Is that what I was fighting for? Walking on a thin line, chained on the front line, labeled as freaks, loose on the streets of the city. Walking on a thin line, angry all the time. Take a look at my face, see what it's doing to me. Taught me how to shoot to kill, a specialist with a deadly skill, a skill I needed to have to be a survivor. It's over now, so they say. Well, sometimes it don't work out that way. You're never the same when you're in the fire. Walking on a thin line, straight off the front line, labeled as freaks, loose on the streets of the city. Walking on a thin line, angry all the time. Take a look at my face, see what it's doing to me. Don't you know me? I'm the boy next door. One difference so easy to ignore. Is that what I was fighting for? No. Walking on a thin line, straight off the front line, labeled as freaks, loose on the streets of the city. Walking on a thin line, angry all the time. Take a look at my face, see what it's done to me. Walking on a thin line, walking on a thin line, walking on a thin line. Walking on a thin line, walking on a thin line. See what it's done to me. There you go.
Walking on a thin line, man.
That's a heavy rocker.
It is. That's a rockin' tune.
Rockin' tune.
There's
Heavy.
nothing I like better than a rockin' tune on an acoustic guitar.
Right. Really get that thing moving. All those strings slapping away.
That's why. You see, then you ask me why my guitars are in the shape they're in.
That is why.
And that's why.
That is why.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us again. You know about subscribing and hitting the like button that lets YouTube know that you're liking what you see. And hit the notification bell, because that'll let you know when we release the next video.
Ding.
Which, you know, is every Friday. Our tech guy told me that it does ding. But
Ronnie.
He turns the volume down.
Oh, yeah, he's a smart guy.
Ronnie turns the volume down.
Always a good idea to leave the ding on.
You guys have a great week.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you next time. And thanks so much for watching and paying attention. Cheers.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Well, we should do My Ding-a-Ling. You know that one?